Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call this meeting, the meeting for the Protective Services Standing Committee meeting to order. We do have quorum. With that, I'm going to hand the chair to Councillor Couvret.
Okay. Thank you, SAO. On behalf of Mayor and Council, we wish to acknowledge that the town of Fort Smith is located within Treaty 8 territory. Treaty 8 territory also encompasses the traditional homelands of the Salt River First Nation, Smith Landing First Nation, and the Indigenous Métis people of Fort Smith. These nations have maintained stewardship of their sacred lands throughout the generations. We honor your knowledge, teachings, traditions, and the land. We are mindful that colonization has not been kind. We respectfully recognize our generational histories and commit to strive for unity in the spirit of truth and reconciliation. Okay, we all have an agenda in front of us. Could I have somebody put forward a motion to accept the agenda as Councillor Cox, seconded by Councillor Bath. Okay, any discussion regarding the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor? Passed unanimously. Okay, next item on the agenda deals with minutes. I could have somebody bring forward a motion to adopt the protective services meeting. Councillor Cox.
I'll move we adopt the minutes from the Protective Services Standing Committee meeting on October 1st, 2024. Received as information.
Seconded by Councillor Benwell. Any comments, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Passed unanimously. As part of our package, we have the visions and values. I trust we all reviewed these prior to sitting down tonight. If there's any comments, seeing none. Next item on our agenda is declaration of financial interest. None were submitted. Okay, moving forward to item C, which is Director's Report. The Protective Services Report for October. Written copies provided as part of the package. SAO?
No, I'd let Director of Protective Services, if he wants to add anything to his report.
Yeah, thank you, SAO. I have nothing further to add, but happy to clarify any points if there's any to add.
Councillor Heaton.
Just wondering, like, under protective services as a department, with the recent increase in break and enters within our community, is that something that protective services can do public service announcements about, just like general safety for the community, like lights on, you know, have timers, you know, someone watching their house because Christmas vacation is right around the corner, just something for the community. I don't know if that's within your purview. Because you have your own Facebook site.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, Protective Services does maintain a social media presence. It's certainly something that I could reach out to the RCMP to discuss a positive way forward. Yep, absolutely.
I keep on calling them boys, but they're men. Team, yes. Like for myself and Councillor Benwell, they really helped us with the Halloween event and forward. We're really good.
Yeah, awesome. Our pleasure.
I'd just like to say, it looks like you had a very busy month. 1 calls, that's an awful lot of calls.
Yeah, so this was actually a combination because there was a month away from council, so I went ahead and compiled October and November into a single report. So it does
Okay.
look a bit busier than it was. It's on average, it was about what we expected for the months of October and November.
And so
Go ahead.
thank you. I just want to congratulate you on getting your certification. That's amazing, training firefighters locally. When do you have a date for potentially doing some training? And what are the ages so that we can get them young?
Sure. Yeah, so we're moving to in-house EMR training for the medical side, which we just ran an EMR course, and then on the fire side, the NFPA 1001 program, our SOGs require people to be 18 or older to join the fire department. We're always happy to welcome new members, and that NFPA 1001 training program starts in the new year. We try to start it first week of January, and it goes through for about 8 months, ending in late August.
Do you have any further comments with the director's report? Okay, seeing none, the next item on the agenda is under administration. We have a briefing note, update and ongoing land acquisition process. SAO, do you wish to speak to this?
It was in everyone's package, so is there any specific questions related to the land acquisition process that's been ongoing? This was commenced in 2022. So I walked in sort of midstream, I guess we could say, on the process of this and have just been receiving regular updates. And I've been working closely with Director of Protective Services just on better understanding this and what the implications could be for the town. At this point, I'd say we're probably about 3/4 of the way through the process, and when we get closer with a better understanding of the timing, then I'll bring that forward to council for further discussion and decision. Is there any questions specifically to that briefing note?
I'd just like to actually comment. I'd asked for clarification and it was quickly responded to. Just for information for the rest of council was whether the town received any revenues from the GNWT as grants in lieu of taxes that the GNWT or other governments would pay for the town. And I've been advised that since this is untenured land, at this point in time, we do not receive any grants in lieu. So I think it is appropriate that we move forward to try and turn this into land that possibly will generate revenues or direct benefits to our community.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's nothing further on the briefing note, that was presented
did
as
move it,
information
sorry.
only.
We didn't move that one.
Sorry.
There's a motion that we didn't do.
Okay,
I make a motion that council accepts this briefing note as presented.
seconded by Councillor Heaton. We've discussed the item.
I'll second it. Sorry.
Now you're just all in favor, Adam.
Oh, sorry. There's a bit of a lag here.
Okay, I think we've covered discussion on the item, so I'll, all in favor? Passed unanimously. Okay, the next item on our agenda is in regards to DPA 054-24. Could I have somebody present a motion with regards to this DPA?
I put forward the motion that Matthew Walsh has submitted a home occupation development application. The application is for the operation of Walsh's Heavy Duty Repairs Limited at the following location: Lot 1817, Plan 4403, Zone RC, and civic address is 22 SS Distributor Drive.
Do we have a seconder for the motion here? Counselor Cox, thank you. Any discussion regarding the DPA?
When these get
Okay,
renewed annually, there's a, for the business license would get renewed annually, right?
Yeah.
So if there was any complaints against the business, then the town could choose not to renew at that time?
that would be the. Go ahead, sorry.
As this is a new council, do you want to give them a really quick brief on the process for DPAs for the home occupation licenses? What we've discussed?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we receive an application, we review, of course, the business and the implications of the business against the zone and against the requirements of home occupation. And some of the requirements are outlined in the zoning bylaw, some of them are outlined in the business licensing bylaw. As part of the business licensing bylaw, it's actually a requirement of home occupations to be reviewed by council once annually at time of renewal. That hasn't always been the case. If there are no concerns about the business, it's renewed. But it does allow for a mechanism of opportunity for council to review a business license against any complaints from neighbors over the course of the last 12 months. So there's a mechanism there that would allow for that reconsideration. Yeah. As well as at any time over the course of the 12 months, we can take steps to enforce against bylaw concerns.
Counselor Tucky.
Geez, I've been here for 52 years, and to be honest, I have no idea where distributor practice. Can anybody fill me in on that one?
So did Bell Rock.
And yeah, this is actually a new portion of the road. It's past Glenn Friend's house going down to the south and then hanging over towards Terry Friend's house.
Let's be down at the end.
Yeah, on the south side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have any further comments or discussions regarding the motion on the floor for approval of the DPAs?
I have a question. It's not directly to this motion, but just is it possible to ask a general question to Adam? Okay. Yeah. So I'm just curious, because we're a new council and we're moving into this process. I'm just wondering if you have any information on like how often you run into issues with whether it's non-compliance or maybe noise or complaints related to home occupations. Because as we're considering these, it'd be good background info.
Yeah, I appreciate that question. Unfortunately, a lot of our complaints are anecdotal. We're in a small community. Folks are willing to offhandedly mention that they are concerned about something, but not always willing to formally submit a concern, which makes it hard to track statistics. As far
Right.
as us proactively observing compliance issues, that's quite frequent in terms of non-compliance of home occupations, especially home occupations of this nature, where there will be heavy equipment and there will be stuff stored on site. But as far as neighbors actively complaining in a formal sense, that's hard to quantify.
Thank you.
Yeah, one more question. In this process, when do the neighbors know that this is under development, and do they have an opportunity to express any concerns?
Yeah, so that process, we were actually just discussing that
That's what I was
internally.
asking about,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, so in this case, council is acting as the development officer because this is a conditional use in this zone. And so the process is similar to if we internally as development officers went about it. We first review the bylaw, make our decision, and once we've made our decision on whether or not it's an appropriate development, we then notify the neighbors. So the same is going for council being the development officer. This group will decide if it's appropriate and fits within what you'd like to see in our community, and if you deem it to be appropriate at this table, then we would notify the neighbors. They would have 15 days, and during that 15-day appeal period, the applicant isn't to start their development. If they do, it's at their own risk and liability until that appeal period has elapsed.
SAO.
And just for the record, that Deputy Mayor Keyser actually did ask that question. That's the one I was asking you to review. It's just that here's the process. From this period forward, if council deems this something they want to approve, then they do get their chance to be vocal.
Any further questions to the motion? Seeing the, Councillor Tucky.
Well, I know Bell Rock's quite secluded and it's a very quiet spot. I'm just wondering, I get the impression this is going to include heavy equipment, right? I'm thinking about loaders, dozers. I personally don't have a problem with the application other than seems to me that there is potential for certain codes to be broken here. Like noise, storage. And, the applicant's been being very honest. He's quite detailed what he's going to be doing. I'm just wondering, in a residential area like that, if we're working in a good framework here.
I'm not sure what the question was there. I'm sorry.
What's the likelihood that we could receive complaints if all of a sudden heavy equipment's going up and down? Or if people feel that, hey, I'm going home and I have to go buy this heavy equipment parked in this particular lot all the time. Are we going to have problems?
I'd like to defer that to Adam to be prognostic on it if you'd like, to try to estimate what you think the chances are that we're gonna hear anything.
So there is an opportunity for some friction with bylaw compliance. I don't think that there would be right now friction with the existing neighbors on this particular street. I think it's in line with things that those folks do. Where the challenge is once you've approved it, you've set a precedent, and there are other lots for sale, and other folks that may want to live on that street may disagree. Having said that, right now, there's no immediate neighbors to this property, and I don't foresee immediate concerns. But there's a reasonable chance that there may be some friction with existing bylaw requirements.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I'm of the opinion that Mr. Walsh does provide a needed service in Fort Smith. And I just hate to see an approval go ahead and then have people complaining afterwards or whatnot. I mean, I'm in favor of this. I am. I just want to make sure that we cover all our bases. That's all. It sounds like we are.
Councillor Heaton.
Thank you. Now that you brought it up, I do have some concerns about how he is gonna dispose of his waste, his environmental concerns with heavy duty mechanics and stuff like that. He's just gonna use the dump, or like, is this gonna be a larger process than what he does currently at,
I mean, I would just assume you would follow the due process of each industrial. There is environmental requirements, but do you want to add to that?
yeah, it's listed in the many bylaw stipulations that this business, like all others, would have to follow our garbage bylaw, which includes the appropriate disposal of hazardous waste, and operations like TDC do accept waste oil to burn in furnaces, or they ship it out, or maybe Mr. Walsh is going to do it himself. But yeah, we have outlined that it's a requirement of the business. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any further questions to the motion? Comments? See. Seeing none, all in favor, Passed unanimously. Okay, next item under agenda is other business. There is nothing listed for that, so we will move on to the excusing of counselors. I have somebody provide a motion for excusing of counselors.
Dana. Dana.
Okay,
Oh, and Al, I
I
guess, but he was supposed to be
Yeah.
here.
Mike.
Oh, I guess.
okay, he's here. Wait, he made it to the voting day.
We'll let Mike go, but Al was supposed to have called in and did, so I guess it's Dana and Al both.
Okay, I make a motion that we excuse Al Kirchhoff and the Mayor Ferguson from our meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, seconded by Counselor Heaton. They both provided notice, so all in, oh,
Oh, seconded already.
oh.
Learning.
Okay.
What's inside?
Right, all in favor of the motion? Passed unanimously. Okay, the date of the next meeting.
We don't need a motion.
Well, I was just going to, the date of the next Corporate Service Standing Committee meeting will be on January 7th, 2025. Yeah, I got that right.
I said corporate center.
It's on my back there.
Counselor Benwell made a motion to adjourn.
Seconded by Counselor Cox. All in favor? Meeting adjourned.